All right, everybody. Hey, how's it going? Hey there, hi there, ho there. Today we're going to be talking about transformations. Transform! Okay, we're going to be transforming points, transforming polygons. We are not going to be transforming any cars or trucks. I like the Transformers, get it? Okay, all right, so today is actually 7.7. Yesterday was 7.6. Oops. All right, so we are going to be transforming plane figures using translations, rotations, reflections on all of these. All right, here are a couple pieces of vocabulary. Please write these down along with the figures. So write it down along with the figures down below. And go. All right, so a transformation is a change in the size or the position of a figure. Today we are going to be changing only the position of the figure. The size is a different formation. We're going to just change the position of a figure today. So a translation is a slide of a figure. You're taking a figure, so like that triangle, and you're kind of sliding it around the graph. All right, along a straight line. It's the exact same shape, just a different position. Next, we have rotation and reflection. Please write these two down. Pause. All right, so a rotation is a transformation in which a figure is turned around a point. So if you look at this red figure is kind of turned to the left. It's almost like it got turned counterclockwise. Okay, so it'll be turned around a little bit, not just clockwise, but also counterclockwise, kind of like you're turning a knob. All right? Reflection is a reflection of a figure that flips across a line. It's going to flip across the line. If you folded it over, that's kind of like that line where it just gets flipped. It gets folded over and it creates that next shape. We're going to be dealing with A prime, B prime, C prime, those primes again today. So do be aware of those, your images and pre-images. Again, we'll move on, or we'll get to those in just a moment. First thing I want you to look at at these figures. You do not need to write these down. No yellow bar, no yellow bar. Okay, so as I look at this, we are going to identify it as a translation, a rotation, reflection, or none of these. Not that it's not a transformation, it's just that it's none of these. All right, so the very first one. Okay, notice how it becomes A, B, C, D, and it kind of just gets flipped over, kind of like you take your hand and you flip it over, palm side down, flip it over, and now it's palm side up. That entire shape just switches around, and this is a reflection. Remember, I'm going from my red figure here to my blue figure. How do I know which one I go from? I always start with the one with no prime, and I go to the one with the prime. Right? Again, here's that line where it would have gotten flipped. Notice how B turns into B prime. This A goes all the way over for my A prime. C flips over here. D flips over to my D prime. Awesome. Next, if you look at that F, we're starting with this shape right here. Again, why do I start with that one? Because it doesn't have the primes. If you notice, how is this changing? It's being rotated. This is a rotation, an example of a rotation transformation. Gets turned slightly. All right, it turns counterclockwise, so it turns a little bit to the right. All right. The next two, if I look at these, notice letter C. Again, we're identifying each translation, rotation, reflection, or none of these. Notice how, if I go from C, notice how it kind of slides right over. However, when I slide over, it gets smaller. That second shape is smaller than the first. All right? So because it's smaller, this is none of these. So just none. It got smaller. It didn't just keep the same shape, it got smaller. D is an example of a translation. It slides over to the right, but it's the exact same shape. Again, it's going from the red to the blue. How do I know that? Because of these prime symbols, those apostrophes. Those tell me that that is my second figure. All right? All right. Okay. Letter C again here. Looking at this one, notice what is happening. Okay, even though it's a little overlapped right here, it's a little overlapped, it's still rotated a little bit clockwise. So this is still rotation. It rotated around a point. All right? It's kind of like fanning a little bit. It's going off and to the right, turning kind of like you turn a knob. Letter D, don't worry about it. Okay, so again, rotation. Translation, rotation, reflection, or none. So I want you to write this down, and I want you to identify, is this a translation, a rotation, a reflection, or none? So pause now, give these a shot. All right, looking at these problems. All right, well, number one, notice how what's happening each time, okay, each time to get to this answer, it kind of rotates a little bit. This is a rotation. It's twisting, it's turning. Okay, it turns turns clockwise there. Just a little bit. Q comes up on top, R goes to the side, C goes back underneath. Next one, okay, this one is a little tricky, but this is a translation. The reason why it is a translation is because it keeps the same figures. This K is still on the left corner, the upper left corner on my image here. It's still in the upper left corner. L is still in my upper right corner. Okay, if this was a reflection, it would have looked something like this, where you have your square, all of these, and your symbols here. And if it was a reflection, it would have gone L prime, then K prime, then M prime, then J prime. These would have been flipped around a little bit, okay? Because again, you just take that and you flip it right over this line of, we're going to get to that symmetry. All right, so you're just flipping it, reflecting that over that line. Okay, so this is a translation. All right, so now you're also going to get these problems where you have to draw an image and you have to reflect it a little bit. Okay, so my image is already drawn. I drew in A, which was at 1, 1, C, which is at 5, 0, and B, which was at 2, negative 2. How I reflect it, remember, it's going to keep the same shape. So all I do is identify how far away, if I'm reflecting over the y-axis, how far away each point is on my y-axis. My height actually stays the same. It doesn't get changed. So for instance, my A, how far am I away from the y-axis? I'm 1 unit. So starting at my y-axis, I move over 1 unit to the left. That's A prime. C is 5 units to the right. What I start out at my y-axis and I move 5 units to the left. 2, 3, 4, 5 is right here. That's my C prime. My B prime, I am 2 units away. Okay, so I have 2 units. So 2 units to the right. So in my image afterwards, I need to go 2 units to the left, which my B prime is right here. All I did was count how far away from my y-axis. Why from my y-axis? Because it says it's a reflection over my y. Here is my ending shape. A prime, B prime, C prime. A reflection over the y-axis. All right? It reflects over that y-axis. All right? Next one. Same idea. It's a reflection over my y-axis. So I'm going to plug in my points. 1, 2. That's my A. My B is 2, negative 3. That's my B. Z, not C. Z is at 7, 0. Right here. That's Z, ABZ. Okay, draw my shape. Now remember, again, over that y-axis, I'm finding how far away from my y-axis am I? My point is right here. I have 7 over. Right there. And then right here. Again, how did I come up with these? A prime, Z prime, B prime. How far away is my original point from my y-axis? Okay, I keep the level they are at, and I just kind of move straight across my x-axis, straight to the left, because I go over my y-axis, straight at the same height, and I continue on with my points. Okay, it's the exact same shape, just flipped over my y-axis. All right? All right. Now, please do not write this down. Please do not write this down. Okay, we'll go back to this, and we'll do one where you have to write down. Just don't write this one down. Do not write this down. Okay, it says, draw the image of the rectangle with vertices -2, 1, -1, 3, and 3, 3, and 2, 1. Oh, look at that. They're already drawn. There they are. Okay, what we are going to do is I am going to translate. Remember, translation means slide. All right, so this entire figure of my A, B, C, D, I am going to slide this down 3 units. Slide it down 3 units. All right, I'm going to start with my A. All I'm going to do is take that, slide it down 3 units. 1, 2, 3. This becomes my new A prime. Okay, D, I slide it down. 1, 2, 3. That becomes my new D prime. B, again, you're just sliding. Slide down how many units? 3. That becomes B prime. And C is also going to slide down how many units? 3. I get those based on that information. I need to translate it. I'm sliding it straight down to get my translation. As I do this, I get a shape that looks like this. Exact same shape, just slid down. Exact same shape, slid down. All right? All right, now you get to try one on your own. Now I want you to write this. Pretend that this is yellow, yellow, yellow bar, yellow bar, yellow bar, yellow bar, yellow bar, yellow bar. Write this down. Write down. Write down. Including directions. If you are supposed to be writing directions. If you're not supposed to be writing directions, don't write it down. Okay? So make sure that you write down everything down there that you're supposed to. Okay? And go. Now, this says rectangle HIJK has vertices 0, 2, 4, 2, 4, 4, 0, 4. You are going to find the coordinates of the image of the indicated point after transformation. I am going to look for a translation of 3 points up. 3 points up. Okay, we're going where? Up. Okay, so the very first thing you have to do is graph your points, then translate it. I'm going to have you do that on your own, and go. All right, so your points should look like this. Once you get your points completed, now you translate it. How are you going to translate it? Straight up. You're going to take your image, take this pre-image, and go straight up 3 units and see what your figure is. All right? So I want you to take that rectangle of HIJK and move it 3 units up. Do that on your own. When you do this, you will get a figure that looks like this. It is still a beautiful rectangle. Beautiful! It just also has these prime symbols in it. So don't forget those prime symbols. Sweet! Okay, I want you to try this one. Try this one. All right, yellow bar, yellow bar, yellow bar, yellow bar, yellow bar. All you have to do, just graph this one and translate. So don't worry about these right here. Just graph these points and translate them. And go. All right. Your original point should look like this. And then when you translate it 4 units up, 2 units right, it might go off our graph a little bit, but it will look something like this. Even though this A prime, okay, even though that A prime is the same point as B, we still state that A prime right next to that point. Okay, that's okay. It just got transformed 4 units up, 2 units right. Okay, 4 units up, 2 units right. Awesome! Awesome sauce. Now for this one, I want you to try to reflect across the x-axis. You do write this one down. Please write this one down. Here is that yellow bar. Okay, and here's been the kind of the goal of the day is to have that red yellow. Okay, so please write this one down in your notes. All right, and try this one on your own. You're reflecting over the x-axis this time, over this x-axis. All right, so and then I will answer it. And go. Okay, so the very first thing you have to do is plot your points of A, which is at -3, +1, that's your A. Your B is at 2, 4. And your C is at 3, 1. Okay, B and C. Now what we are going to do is we are going to shape this over our x-axis. Okay, and how we do that is the exact same thing how we did our shaping over our y-axis. All right, except now instead of counting across to our y, we count across to our x. Okay, so A is 1 unit away from my x-axis, so it means it's 1 unit above, so I need to go 1 unit down. Right there, that's A prime. C is 1 unit above my x-axis, so I need to go 1 unit down. That's my C prime. My B is 4 units, 1, 2, 3, 4, above my x-axis. So in order for me to flip it over, I go 4 units down. Right here, that becomes B prime. And I draw this. Now, the question asks, find the coordinates of the image of each point after the transformation. All right, after the transformation. Okay, so after the transformation, A prime is at a -3, -1. B prime is at 2, -4. C prime is at 3, -1. Now, it asks me specifically for my point B, so point B prime is 2, -4. All right, so you find each of those points, then rewrite that last point in there. Okay? All right, so make sure you identify each point. Draw your shape, reflect over the x-axis, and solve. That's all I'm going to have for you today, is just those slides. I hope you enjoyed this rotation, these translations, these reflections, these beautiful slides of shapes. Okay, we are going to be talking about this a little bit more tomorrow, so if you're confused, please bring in your questions. Thank you very much. Have a wonderful day. Bye.